This is the Gang Breaks Kayfabe. I'm Cash. I've got Draven, Jason, and Tim Vance with me, as always. We're the gang. We're here to break kayfabe, and this time we're going to break kayfabe on WWE Unreal, the Netflix show where they give us all the behind-the-scenes access that we could ever want. Probably.
Kinda.
And their nice little way of doing it. Like, they make sure it's still, any reality show is still just a scripted reality show, so... But I have not seen the show. I've watched the first.
And you're talking crap on it. How can you say you don't know?
I've seen clips, and I know
you
how
are
most reality shows
narrator.
Just wait until Emmy season. Emmy season, when they are nominated for all the awards, you'll be eating your words.
I will. I'll write them on a piece of paper and eat them live on this podcast. Well, not live, but you know what I mean. Live to you guys. So before, we're going to break down all 5 episodes, and the other 3 are going to kind of fill me in on what happens, and we're going to give our thoughts on that. But before I thought we got into the episodes, I thought I would get your guys' thoughts. So when you first maybe heard about this being a thing, or when you first started watching it, like, or now you have watched it, how do you feel about WWE putting this kind of access out there to everybody?
So when I saw the preview for it, I was watching it with my daughter, who's 12, and she thought it was the coolest thing ever and said, we have to watch that when it comes out. So for her, she was excited, and I thought, it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, because I feel like we definitely 3 of us that have been in wrestling kind of know a lot of the how the sausage is made for wrestling. So you heard me.
Recipe.
Isn't that what you guys were doing in the locker rooms, making sausages? That's what I was always doing.
Huh.
How do you think you guys got paid the other night in all those sausages? Draven, what about you?
Daddy, would you like some sausage?
I mean, when I heard about it, I just kind of shrugged. I mean, the business is so open. There's already been Total Divas and Tough Enough. They've exposed everything else. Why not the creative team, you know?
So Beyond the Mat was really the first show like this, right? I don't count Secrets of Wrestling. Not just showing gimmicks, but I mean actually showing what goes on backstage.
Well, there was that.
I mean, it was definitely the first mainstream
ABC News thing on 2020 where Eddie Marlin went on and bladed and got blackballed from the business and all that.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about just the secrets of like chairs and all. I mean like actual backstage of a company.
I'd say Beyond the Mat had to be the first mainstream.
And then probably
around that same time,
wrestling with shadows.
That's good too. Around that same time, there was some sort of like Discovery Channel episode on WCW, and they went backstage and actually filmed Hoovy and Ray calling a match and then calling it back to each other backstage.
Oh, I do remember that. Because that was like huge at the time for me. I was like, holy. Kind of like probably how Fee is. How you're just like, oh, this is amazing.
I remember that Secrets of Wrestling thing. I was probably 12, 13, and I watched it, and I was like, this is incredible.
How insane is it that it was Harley Race?
Right.
Of all the people.
Mr. Old School fucking territory, man.
Yeah.
Well, you guys have seen that quote Luthez had on Harley Race, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, dude, you might know it better than me, Draven, but basically he was just saying that everything Harley Race did looked like a joke and was comedy and wasn't real, and so so the same thing that old timers were saying about Will Ospreay was said about erased by old timers, basically.
I have seen that in that context, yeah. So, Jason, like heading in before we really get into like the episodes, is this kind of what you were expecting when you heard about the show?
Yeah, I enjoyed the show thoroughly. I think that as we go through the episodes, there are things that I'm like, oh, I'd actually like to hear more about that, as compared to the, oh, well, I'd rather not know because, smart enough to know storylines, but at the same rate, I think they did do a bit of protecting. We never see, other than during an Elimination Chamber discussion, we don't see Punk and Rollins sitting there and discussing the Mania match. So maybe they really do hate each other, and they can just get together for the business of the business. But it wasn't like, hey, here's these guys that have been for years saying they hate each other, and here they are at the bar or driving around. Those things that very possibly are true, but let me still have some of my childhood dreams and hopes, I guess. But as someone who enjoys watching a Blu-ray, everyone listening know what a Blu-ray is, a DVD, commentary track, it's the same thing as far as I'm concerned. It is watching a movie and then wanting to see the behind the scenes of the movie. I knew the movie wasn't real, but someone still could have got injured during the filming. Like, we quote the commentary tracks the things just as much as we can quote movies sometimes. And so I just kind of view this as just an extension of that, just into the wrestling world, if that makes sense.
So, speaking of Blu-rays, if anybody out there is listening and you have the Armageddon Blu-ray or Criterion Collection DVD, I need it because the commentary track on there features a drunk Ben Affleck ripping the movie apart.
Yeah, he's like, I asked the director, why would they not just train astronauts to be drillers instead of trying to train drillers to be astronauts? He said,
apparently it's easier to be an astronaut.
Yeah, he goes, it's easier to be an astronaut instead of teaching these geniuses how to use a drill. Jason's got it.
Yeah, me and my buddy Joel have looked everywhere for a copy, like out in the wild somewhere, and cannot find one.
I will make sure that you can borrow it, and all of the internet world hears I said borrow.
But you heard how he said it with like that twinge of, it wasn't like he didn't mean it.
As often as we see each other in person, like borrowing it means I'll get it back in a decade.
True.
So here's the question. Well, maybe it should be an end of the show question, but here I'll ask and you can decide if we should answer at the end or not. Do you think watching this show for a non-wrestling fan makes them more likely to be a fan or less likely to be a fan?
Well, okay, so that kind of I guess that can kind of go into what I was going to ask as a follow-up. So the way, I haven't watched the show, but I get the point of it. I've seen enough to know what the gist of it is. And I know, over the past decade or 2 decades probably, WWE's gotten more and more, they put out all the stuff on the, back when they had the network, and then on Peacock, they would put out behind-the-scenes lead-ups to WrestleManias and things like that. So they've been doing this kind of thing for quite a while now, with documentaries and everything else. I think this is more of the first time they've ever really showed the booking process and the creative process the way they are. But I think here's the question I would have, I guess. I don't know about the new, I don't know if, I think this would make somebody be maybe more engaged with it if they start out enjoying the product based on, this is just like a reality show, and I get to know all these personalities for who they really are, and then I get to see them perform. So that could hook them. But my thing is, with all of this that they do now, where they show you all the backstage stuff, it almost to me seems like this is their way of really driving away from professional wrestling. And they've been leaning into this for decades now, but we're here to have moments. It's the moments that matter. Moments. So the wrestling matches for the most part are a whole lot of filler. And that nothing really matters until you get to the run-in or the whatever the big schmoz finish is going to be. So I find myself enjoying watching like AEW more for wrestling, and then like keeping up with WWE to see like what the drama is and like what the behind the stage stuff is.
So you think the matches are bad? The wrestling's bad to watch?
I think the majority of matches are less intriguing and entertaining than what AEW is doing. The matches are still, from a technological, from a technical standpoint, they're some of the, they're amazing at what they do. They're WWE professional wrestlers.
First of all,
But
hologram is not actually tech. If you're giving him credit for technology, he's just a man in a suit.
no, I'm pretty sure that we're seeing VR in real life. I think. But yeah, I just like the matches. I'm not saying like, but I'm saying you can kind of skip the wrestling matches in WWE. Like as far as like that nothing's really gonna like for the most part, unless it's a Mania main event. Like everything on Raw is just gonna be the same bullshit 3-4 minute match where either somebody's gonna interfere or every main event for the past other than last night's for a month and a half straight has been a DQ finish.
But most matches on Raw are like, there's some that are 18 minutes now.
Yeah, but I'm saying nothing really happens to the finish. Like they go for the moments. Like
I'm just debating the 3 or 4 minutes.
Let me try
and you get like one or two longer
translate
ones.
for Cash here. I think what he's saying is everything's so cookie cutter and the same in WWE because they all use that same formula. They all have the same agents. They all want the same cutoff spots, the same exact timing in every match. It's literally just rinse and repeat of a content churn. There's just two different performers in the ring doing the same match you're going to see no matter who's in there,
like
90% of the way.
Yeah.
Do you not feel it's that way with AEW too? It's just the styles of the companies?
Not as much. I think AEW has more diverse agents that have less control over the matches. WWE is so structured and corporate, they know they have to listen if the agent gives the ref a thing in the earpiece in WWE. But in AEW, I think they know they have more freedom. They're not going to get in trouble. Even if an agent's trying to lean them one way, they're going to do what they want to do.
So I think with AEW...
You're cutting out a lot, Omega. I think I understand what you're saying. But I think as far as like formula matches, I can tell you how every big AEW match will go. There'll be multiple finishers. There'll be some floor spots, a guardrail spot of some kind, and then it'll be like a super finisher in the end. I mean,
you forgot 10 run-in. 10 run-in.
I actually don't think AEW's run-ins are that heavy. I think that's more of a WWE thing. But
and so yeah, like I don't watch AEW religiously either because it is formulaic as well. Like I agree. But as far as like I want to enjoy professional wrestling, I like their formula better in the ring.
Okay. That makes sense.
So with WWE, I don't have to really see their formula matches because like even with their like Draven was kind of saying, like, so they're so polished. So like as soon as you see someone go to the floor, you're either getting a commercial break or B, they're going to use for the 400th match in a row, there's going to be a table spot on the announcer's table. So you're going to get one of those as soon as they go to the ring, and if they do, or out of the ring, and if they do the camera where it's coming in on a guy still down, you're like, okay, commercial break. Like, and it's just so formula how they get to all of that. Like everything just feels the same.
Man, I feel the announce table is so overused in the past couple of years. It's crazy. I mean, it's an every night thing.
I was keeping a running total during the 2-night WrestleMania, and I think it got up to 6. Like before I stopped, and I think I probably didn't count quite a few in like the last 2 matches of.
And those new plastic tables, like that hard plastic tables, like the Tonka toys. However, I don't like that either.
So I guess my thing is WWE by way of making it so transparent now, like I almost feel dumb watching WWE. Like I like this kind of stuff, this content from them. Like I'd rather, but like watching that, like. And I know, of course I know wrestling's fake, but like at least for the longest time, pro wrestling was just like, yeah, we're sports entertainment. Like it's like they're leaning in so heavily on it's all fake and scripted that you're watching like Drew McIntyre, like, which if you watch a movie, that's your one experience, and you put that movie away. You're watching WWE and following it Monday, Friday. If you watch NXT, the PLEs, pay-per-views, all that, it's like I have a hard time completely staying in as a wrestling, like in character as a wrestling fan, and being like, yeah, Drew really does hate whatever. Like it's just hard to even like kind of be in the moment because you're just like, I'm more excited about what I learn about what he meant by that line towards him because he has some heat with him. Like you're more interested in that part of WWE now. I think like that's the direction they're heading in when where they want you to kind of view it as a reality show.
I think that's partially true. But I think that if you're already a fan of the industry, we'll say instead of or sports or however you want to word it at this point, then I don't think that having a show like this is going to suddenly make you go, you know what, the hell with this, I'm never watching it again. But it does, I think. But I do think that it does the opposite, and it could have people who, whether you are skeptical about is it real, is it fake, it's just two greased up guys in their speedos, Tim, out there just rubbing on other guys, and it's just just people rolling around for nothing. But I think something like this gives a little bit more to, there really is a production to this, and there is a science to the making the TV happen the way we're seeing it, that could bring in a bigger audience just based in that, and not even necessarily due to reality show drama, but just what the reality of the business is, if that makes sense.
So let me ask you guys this quick question. Would you like wrestling better if it was a shoot? Because I wouldn't watch it at all if it was.
So I want to just to clarify, I'm not saying WWE Unreal and WWE doing behind the scenes stuff. I am in no way saying it's a bad thing that I think is a negative. I'm looking at it as like, is this the direction WWE is going to head in now? Because we see what AEW, like, they're offering a wrestling product, and they are not getting WWE numbers right now. So I think WWE learned a long time ago, of course, leaning into sports entertainment, that wrestling isn't the thing. So I think if they lean more towards it's all a reality thing, and these are the characters they play, but we also want you to know the real people. Like, I think that's going to be it's a smart direction for them to just kind of continue growing. But I think they're going to push more into it.
But don't you think the wrestling in WWE it's more wrestling focused than it's been in a decade?
I thought it was for a little while. I think it's been very, very bad lately.
So
I mean, not good or bad, but I'm just saying more wrestling.
I don't even think it's been wrestling focused lately. It's been the same 20 to 30 minute opening promo from Seth and his group. It's been Punk and Jey Uso and Sami Zayn against them. It's been the same stuff over and over, and they cram a lot of backstage stuff, and here's the celebrities in the crowd. I feel like we don't get a ton of wrestling. Like, I don't think it is Wrestling Center. I think it's more, look how popular we are, mainstream we are right now.
Oh, this t-shirt is gross, but what do I do? It's all I got.
That's the only shirt you've got? I might have a solution for you then. If you go to ProWrestlingTees.com and you search for Aaron Draven, which I think you guys can all see right there on the screen how to spell it, you can find official Gang Breaks Kayfabe t-shirts. That's right. Jason, can you believe it?
I can't, but what I can believe is you can get your official shirt of either all of us, or you can choose which one of us you like the best and get just our shirt. Fine.
Breaks Kayfabe, full logo on a pink shirt, or pick, do you prefer Vance, Jason, Cash, or Omega, and get a yellow shirt. Oh, I wish he wasn't doing that.
That's so
Let's get him a
weird.
long sleeve shirt.
So the only thing you guys didn't mention,
But Draven,
I'll
how do
bring
they
up-
find
I'll bring
those
up the
shirts
price.
again?
They are $19.99 each, no matter what design you pick. ProWrestlingTees.com/wrestlers-t-shirts/Aaron Draven. Super easy to remember. Definitely not going to be on the screen here because you're going to be able to remember it without me even putting a graphic up.
And go buy them. That way I can afford to buy one for myself.
I don't need this anymore.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
Lord.
Here we go. That was the whole reason you wanted to do this, is so he can take his shirt off.
Right now,
You know, to play this damn game.
I disagree with Cash on that one because I kind of see Vance's point. In the 90s on a Raw, you're not going to see an 18-minute mid-card match. Like, they're giving you more wrestling now, but I also agree that it's more of a content churn than actual wrestling. Like, sure, there's a 20-minute match that goes on, but in that 20-minute match, how many minutes actually matter? The finish? The last minute? Like, the rest of the match is all just filling up time so you don't have to come up with actual storytelling. It's like the lazy cheating way to get through an episode.
you think the matches are that bad that nothing happens in them till the finish?
I don't want to use the word bad. I want to say bland and repetitive.
Generic, I think.
Generic, okay.
I mean, I think every say 1 in 5 matches though is really, really good. Maybe 1 in 4. Like, you still get a really good match between, like, you pretty much put Sami Zayn there with anybody except for Karrion Kross, and you get a really good match.
Okay, hold that thought. Then 10 years ago, watching Raw, do you think it was that way or was worse?
10 years ago?
I mean, even anywhere from 5 years to 10 years ago.
I mean, yeah, you'd always have a really good. You'd have a Daniel Bryan. You'd have.
But you think 1 in 5, 1 in 4, or more like 1 in 20?
Probably 1 in 10.
Like when Raw was 3 hours, it was a struggle to watch. So I think they've already done themselves a favor by at least making it 2 and whatever change they decide each week to do on there. Because I think they have cut out some of that filler that just no one cares about some of these characters. No one needs to see everybody getting a backstage segment, then everybody getting an in-ring segment, then whatever it might be. But I think part of that is also them spreading some things out to NXT, to where they don't have to have so many of the mid-card or undercard on Raw now. So it's just, here are our main stories. The unfortunate on that is it does become repetitive because you're getting the same basic 10 workers each week now, with maybe 1 or 2 rotated in.
Let me sum up my point like this. I think this is the easiest way to say it. So there's... Fuck, I lost my point. I had it for a second, god damn it. Give me a second, I'll come back to me.
I don't think your company is.
Oh, I got it.
I'm not.
Sorry, I got it.
Okay.
So, I think this will sum up my point the clearest. When they're laying out a show, when they're booking a show, when they're writing Raw, they look at a piece of paper and say, there's 18 segments here we have to fill. So instead of writing stories for a bunch of different things and doing they're like, well, we can make this match go 4 segments. Now we only have to book 14 segments. Like, I think that's a lot of what they do. The matches don't matter. It's just filling up a piece of paper segment.
But didn't you also complain when the matches were only in Attitude Era, they were like 2 minutes each? And everyone's like, man, I wish I had longer matches. That's why I was asking. Didn't you like 2-minute, 3-minute matches all the time?
I think it should vary. There should be a couple 2 or 3 minute matches every show, just to make it different. I'm okay with the longer matches in moderation. What I don't like is when it's the same formula, and that's the formula they've been using. what match can we take up 6 segments with this week? What match can we take 4 segments with this week? They're not doing it in service to a story. They're doing it in service to let's just get the show over with.
Okay. You think the
But I
motivation for booking it? Yeah.
I think too, it's like we've been saying, like it's the same people too. Like I'm seriously not trying to like die on a hill for one promotion or the other. Like I think both have positives, both have negatives. But like AEW, you're at least going to get like a pretty big shakeup on a week-to-week basis of who's wrestling who. You may see the same.
But isn't that normally the big complaint about AEW is guys get started and then disappear, and then they pop back up and then they disappear, and nothing's ever.
I think because I was going to say, they have like, you're going to see the same like bucket of wrestlers, but you're at least going to see them like in different matchups. But they do drop the ball a lot of times by suddenly inserting a new person into the bucket and shaking things up, and you're like, oh, cool, it's somebody new, and they like go hard on them for like 2 or 3 weeks at the expense of things they've already been doing, only to then drop that person, and you're like, oh, okay, well, we're back to where the bucket was before. Like, that just kind of fucked everything up for a few weeks. I think they do that, like they've done that way too often. But I also think it's nice to be able to see different matchups where with WWE, they've done it for decades now, so this isn't anything new. You get, we got Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross for weeks in matches. We got remember when it was the Judgment Day versus what team was it? The War Raiders, I think, or somebody. It was like the same tag match week after week after week, and it had the same finish. It had the same interference spots. Like, it had all the same stuff. Like, they just get way too, and that used to, like, that's good to build up that feud or whatever, but there's other ways to build up a feud than having two guys just continually bash heads in the ring, and, like, you've already seen them wrestle 4 times before they ever get to a big show. So, whether it's a 4 tag match, a 6-man tag match, like, they just do so much of that, and they don't swap enough people in and out, I don't think, to have fresh matchups to drive stories. Like, you can still have a fresh matchup, 2 guys that are in a feud against each other, both have matches on the show, they both show off what they can do, and, like, are trying to kind of one-up each other in the match. Like, there's so many different ways to do, instead of just, like, we're going to put them in the same ring, have them in a match or a promo against each other, or a backstage segment. Like, but they're only going to talk to each other and maybe a couple other people that are in like maybe a tag match with them later. So it's just, there's just not a lot of variation on WWE, I don't think, and it just gets stale if they don't keep.
Well, I have a transition back to Unreal for us because we're WWE rank, WWE Canada or whatever.
We might just want to like maybe go on this for a little bit longer and then come back to Unreal like in the next episode. Like maybe the effect of Unreal, then we'll get into the episodes.
Yeah.
But I mean, we can get into it. There's only 5 episodes.
Well, here's the notes I had from someone who watched wrestling in the Attitude Era, did not watch it again, and pretty much started back with Unreal just to see what's going on. Here's some notes from someone our age. So,
are they broken down episode by episode?
No. Just what they thought of the show.
Okay.
The realness of the people, not just the characters, getting to see actual human beings because they don't know anything about the actual human beings. The whole actually seeing how complicated and complex it is to like talk out these performances. How even in big moments they keep secrets from other people who work in the company was kind of mind blowing, I guess.
Are you guys buying into everything about like people pissed off they didn't know about Rollins faking the injury?
I don't understand why anyone would be pissed about it. Now, apparently, what I read, of course, who knows what we know, but that they lied to Becky's parents and told that, like, I can imagine people who know Colby being upset about it, but people who know Seth Rollins, like, no, like, why? Your storyline shouldn't have anything to do with me, like, and unless he pulled a full on, I can't go get my tray at the commissary. Can you go and get me something at craft services while I sit here? And then I'm like,
Commissary, Jesus.
it's a prison, right? It's not a prison.
I think that is
Oh,
the
no
deal. Though. They're
touching.
saying Rollins was working all the boys, so that was what he was doing. He's backstage hobbling around on the crutches. Nobody in the company knew.
I wouldn't be mad. Like, if you did that to me, Draven, I mean, and you're not just one of the boys in the locker room, like a good friend, even if you did it, I'd laugh and be like, you son of a bitch trying to work me, and then I would move on. I wouldn't be mad. I'd just be like, what the hell? And then I'd be done.
Now, if I'm your boss and you show up on crutches and you're like, I can't do my job right, I can't do this, I can't do that, and you've told like 2 other people that might be,
CM Punk right in front of you, you're fine.
Right. I'm like, but yeah, I mean, as long as the people above him knew, I don't. If you're upset about it, then you're just in your personal feelings because you're like, I thought we were boys. Like, that's why you're upset about it. It's not about being left out. It's because I thought we were buddies and you wouldn't include me in on this. I wouldn't have told anyone. Like, you could have trusted me with this. I would have been fine with it. But I can't.
100%.
I just don't get it any other way. Like, what does that have to do with anyone? Now, I mean, legit, if Punk didn't know what was going on and he throws the crutches down and comes down, like, that's weird. But
the refs tell Punk as Seth is jumping.
Right. It's like, by the way,
he's not injured. He's got it. You gotta sell.
You're about to lose up, boy.
Sell, motherfucker, sell.
Stand here for 10 minutes till he comes down. Don't worry, it'll be okay.
Oh, okay. So it was excellent to see the love and support that the wrestlers get from fans. So I guess didn't realize how some people just really fucking love wrestling.
So the person that reviewed it has only hung around you then, right? And that's why they're like, we didn't realize that people in the audience actually cared.
Despite it being fake, the series show the super realness of it. Character development and seeing them as themselves, but then as how their characters play out and how some people are so different and so alike to their character, basically.
So yeah.
But yeah, that's a general impression. Just
oh god.
Hi.
That's first pet bomb.
We landed a big yes.
Podcast.
Sorry about that.
So,
Jason, your pussy was out there.
Oh,
oh, come on.
The cat decided to jump up and stand on top of the edge of the TV is what just happened.
Cats are going to do cat things.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I almost feel like it's like pretty genius strategy on their part, really, to lean more into this mainstream, like, experience thing. Like, WWE just doesn't feel like a wrestling product to me, I guess, anymore, like a professional wrestling product. Now it's full on. Did you see our new TikTok? Did you see our YouTube numbers? Have you seen?
Have you just now? Just now you think that? I think
no. It's been that way. It's been getting that way for decades now. But I feel like we're now full on.
Worse, but it's been for the past 10 years. It's like they're closer to Saturday Night Live than they are a wrestling promotion.
Yeah.
Do you think that by doing a show like this, assuming it's gotten good numbers, they're going to do another season, they're going to keep this rolling also, that this is also just a side way of them to combat dirt sheets as far as all we hear is rumors about this, and this? Well, if we know that in 3 months we're going to get the behind the scenes anyway, then I don't need to care about what Meltzer's saying about what this person's saying, because I'm actually going to know the real story soon enough.
So
random thought.
So Hollywood has dirt sheets too, right? That's where the term came from, right? Like people give a shit about that stuff too. It's kind of the same. But
yeah.
I bet that industry, if you compare people who watch wrestling to people who watch dirt sheets and people who watch movies who look at those dirt sheets, their audience has got to be what, like a fraction of a percent look at the dirt sheets, but wrestling fans have got to be what, 75%?
And I mean, now WWE it just seems like they have an entire department set aside to spread internet shit. Like you're always getting all this stuff now where it's just like, and you never know what's true anymore because did they really fire Ron Killings? Well, according to almost everybody, yes, they really did. According to Triple H, you just gotta stick around for the story. Like, but there's just so much stuff now where they're going out of their way to drum up drama that, like, of course they're going to get tons of social media clicks. Like, it's going to do better business for them. Like, the more they get people drawn into, like, the actual, like, drama of it all and the personal lives of people, like, it's a pretty engaging way to, like, really get people into your product, whether they care about the wrestling or not.
Are you saying that's good or bad? Just real quick.
I'd say that's good for their business.
Okay, I think so too.
Right.
I just didn't know if you were saying that as a negative, and I was just wondering.
I mean, at this point, I don't expect WWE to be the saviors of the art of professional wrestling. Like, I just don't. But so what they are, like, yeah, lean into it. Like, build.
I mean, you guys. So every time we get to like the point of the wrestling's not bad, I feel like you guys just start crapping on WWE's wrestling, and I feel like it's better than it's been in so. Like CM Punk versus Gunther, I can't imagine that match like 5 years ago in WWE or like.
There are really good matches. Like,
don't use that example, and instead use any women's three-way for a title that's happened in the last 6 months.
Not that match. That match was great. I'm just talking about what type of match it was. Like, and then with the blading and like that story in particular, like in wrestling, that I mean. I thought it was a textbook wrestling story done like an old school wrestling match with the monster seeing his blood, which is something we haven't got to even enjoy, which I like blood in wrestling, in a long time, is finally back. And I feel like you guys feel like the wrestling is the worst it's ever been, is the impression I'm getting.
I just think it's generic for the most part, and then you get one or two really good matches from time to time.
Here's where I'm going to differentiate it, because everything we're saying, I'm at least saying about like the weekly TV. Pay-per-view, they ratchet it up. Like, there's a big difference between a Gunther and Punk match at SummerSlam and like Otis versus Grande Americano on 7 straight Raws. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can. I'm on that page.
Yeah,
completely.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
the TV. See, when I watch Raw, I watch the YouTube 10-minute video, and I'm still right there at pay-per-views. Have no problem knowing what's going on. It's because on TV they don't put hardly anything that matters. Every great once in a while, you get.
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm just talking about. No, but I'm talking about wrestling in general in the WWE, and the wrestling is the pay-per-view. The TV isn't even wrestling to me.
WWE has
what I was saying is there's really no point to watch.
Like, if you count the pay-per-view, if you count all the episodes of TV, there's like 60 hours a week, and only 45 minutes of that is a pay-per-view wrestling match.
Here's the thing. I've accepted, I guess, a long, long time ago that basically Raw and SmackDown are commercials for pay-per-views.
Right.
So you're saying the same thing I'm saying.
I haven't watched Raw, SmackDown. I don't watch the weekly TV at all. I'm pay-per-view only at this point for all companies.
Right. Same here. So where are you guys watching this bad wrestling and bad Raw?
I am the only one who actually likes wrestling amongst the 4 of us, because I'm watching 60 hours a week to do my research for this damn podcast. Here y'all are like, we watched 10 minutes worth of, I read a Wikipedia page. Hell.
Yeah, you're the fan.
That's why we have to have you.
No. So, Tim, you keep saying that we're saying it's bad wrestling. I don't think either of us have said that. We've used the words formulaic, generic, repetitive. And you're making my point for me when I say you really don't have to watch the product like constantly, because the matches really don't matter. It's like
I agree with those points you're making.
So if I'm watching a wrestling show for professional wrestling, WWE does not offer that to me right now, unless it's a PLE.
Okay, well, what's wrong with that being
Because if there's wrestling on 4 nights a week, I would like to be able to watch a professional wrestling show. So I'm just not going to watch that one, I guess, because it really doesn't do anything for me. I can watch
There's a
Dynamite
PLE on every week.
and get wrestling. Like,
Roman.
but
there's a PL. I feel like there's so many PLEs. I still get my wrestling fix from watching just the PLEs, basically.
I'm not saying people shouldn't watch WWE. I'm just saying for me, why am I going to watch
here first, kids?
wrestling?
Podcast says wrestling's terrible. Don't watch it.
So just basically, here's the issue: all the WWE wrestling I watch is pretty good.
You watch a 10-minute highlight video, so it should be good. If the 10-minute highlight video that they're releasing is not good,
even whole events, because I only watch PLEs, and so WWE is a pretty good product. And then if I need to know something about the story, I watch the video and I got it. That's how we watch, I guess.
That's crazy. How can WWE be a good product when 80% of what they put out in a week is bland, boring shit you won't even watch? You can't take them at their best
because that's what that shit's supposed to be to me.
But all right, how about this, Tim? Are you not watching it because you don't have time, or are you not watching it because you know that the things that you are watching are all that's actually worth it?
60% A, 40% B.
Because there's a difference if there's literally 60 hours worth of TV and I don't have time for that, so I'm watching a 10-minute recap instead and then just a weekly whatever pay-per-view, not PLE.
But in fairness, I do the same thing with AEW. Exact same way.
So, like, I don't think they want the fans. They should. I guess they shouldn't want all fans to be like you, where they're like, "We're not gonna watch your weekly stuff because it doesn't fucking matter. So we're gonna watch 10 minutes of a recap so that we can watch the actual stuff that matters." Like, because that's also saying, "Hey, you guys out there that could potentially risk permanent injury in a meaningless fucking Monday Night Raw match, sorry, but I don't give a fuck about it." So,
well, I'm sure they're for somebody. Like there's fans in the building.
If they're doing that, so if people are just going to watch it the way you do, then they might as well just do like a Saturday morning Slam Masters show.
That's what Megan said. That's what
Megan do a quick recap.
Yeah.
But so again, driving it all the way back to my point, this is why I think they're going to drive further into this whole we're just a big reality world universe thing. Because they know that there's so many people that probably really don't care about like the 8 to 10 minutes leading up to the finish of a match. So they can just kind of like have way more interest in the drama behind the scenes going on, the promos or the little things where people can be like, "Well, I heard that so-and-so is actually mad at so-and-so. So I got to see if one of them like hits the other one harder than usual. Like, 'cause I want to be able to, talk about how I saw it. Like they're building up drama, I think, and it's smart.
You think they're basically turning marks into smarks on purpose?
Yes. Because they have realized that that's what the world is now. Our whole fucking world now is people on social media trying to be smarter than everybody else and getting nobody got one over on me, so I already knew about this was happening or whatever. I already heard that. So like if they just keep churning that shit out, they keep churning content out.
So I think you guys will agree with this. There is base level kayfabe and the people who believe everything up the kayfabe, which is a very small group at this point. Yeah. And then there's like a level of like no, not even but like people who know it's fake, but they still watch, right?
Like we did when we were kids.
Yes. Okay. And then there's the next level, that top level of kayfabe people who are like Jason, for example, has never worked in the business, but knows completely and utterly how everything works. But do you think, even smarter than a smart mark, I'd say, but then do you think they could do a level of kayfabe? So I think now we're all saying there's a level of kayfabe above that.
There is.
Where they're trying to work, yes, they're trying to work Jason.
Well, you know how I know there is? Because there are so many fucking content creators now that are just people. And I know we're doing a podcast, wrestling podcast right now, but there are so many
damn it.
who have their living right now is they're monetizing their ability to sit on a camera and watch Raw and SmackDown and Dynamite and the PLEs and NXT
WWE,
and just sit there and be like, oh wow,
and WWE,
Oh.
if you've noticed,
oh wow,
have
this is
started
happening.
using those people in their video packages to try and steer them away from watching the other thing, because the more WWE content they watch, the higher the chance they're going to be on the recap videos.
A note from Unreal, when they are showing certain things that happen at the different pay-per-views or whatever, and they're showing like people's, live reactions and stuff, I'm like, how did they pick those people? What do we need to do to become the person that's just like,
I thought that too, Jason. I was like, we need to do.
I was like, honestly, who the hell are these people and how did they get picked?
Well,
They
so I
have
mean, all of
huge
these content
followings.
creators.
I scroll through Instagram, and I've seen these people even before they pop up to where I recognize them when I see them in the video. Like, they literally get hundreds of thousands of views and get all the ad revenue from that by just having the camera on them while they're watching Monday Night Raw every week.
So Tim, like that's the next level of kayfabe. Like those content creators, there's little cultures built around all of those content creators now. Like, and then then there's like communities built around a group of those content creators with their like it's insane. And then like all of the people who use social media to just argue on Threads or X or any of them now, like where they just their whole thing is they're part of the wrestling community of their social media, and they just argue back and forth. AEW versus WWE, this versus this, that versus this. Was this good? Was that bad? Like, WWE has pushed it to where it's like they are a universe now. Like, they have taken that concept, and that is like now that's the next level of what that is. Like, there's smart marks, there's a little bit above that, and then there's the WWE universe and the wrestling universe, which is just this huge fucking thing now that's covered like NFL and NBA. I mean, probably bigger than the NBA, like as far as coverage goes.
So I'll say something I read online and I thought was interesting. It'll piss off Draven, I think, the most. So let's do that. Someone was a WWE stan, obviously, and they said, Tony Khan and them, they will take shots at WWE, call him Weinstein or something like that, and like all the shots he takes at them. And then WWE does something back and counter programs them, and then he still claims, poor me, they're picking on me, when he says just as much shit about them.
So the Weinstein
on a regular basis.
The Weinstein thing was directed at Vince, who doesn't even work for WWE. He's not a part of the company anymore. The Weinstein thing, I'll start over again. The Weinstein thing was about Vince. It wasn't about WWE. It wasn't a shot at anyone still working there. That thing was specific to Vince. And then if you go back, the only other thing other than that he's done is the bald assholes thing about Michaels and Triple H. But that was like almost 2 years ago.
But you also got a lot of AEW wrestlers out there that take, like, Ospreay will take little shots here and there. There are people that take shots. I personally don't think it does anything for the WWE to do what they're doing, really. Like,
I disagree.
I don't know if AEW's... To me, it's the same thing that when Remix Pro Wrestling was a thing, and there'd always be some small wrestling promotion that would try to run the same days or whatever, and the promoter of Remix would message me panicked and freaking out about it. I always tell them, dude, it doesn't matter. If you acknowledge them, they become as big as we are. Like, if they're on our radar, then they must be important enough for other people's radar. Just don't worry about it.
Nope, that's not it.
I feel like WWE... I don't think they should be so blatant about it, I guess.
The reason why I disagree is because they're doing it with a purpose. Like, they are taking over those nights because social media impressions matter. If they run Brock versus Cena, that's all that's going to be on Twitter. That's all that's going to trend is that and different variations of that. And now so much money on TV deals and all your other deals, even down to licensing and toys and stuff. They look at those numbers. If WWE does this consistently for a few months in a row, it's going to impact AEW's numbers at the end of the year, and it's going to affect their bottom line and business aspects.
Well, here's the question then. Is that bad or good? Is that someone being is that a bad company or a good company?
It's bad for professional wrestling. We've already seen how that works out when you kill the competition.
From their perspective,
but as someone
I get what they're doing. They have shareholders. The whole point of the company is to turn a profit. I get that, but there's like ethical ways to do it and unethical ways to do it.
You think that's unethical? Just to counter?
No, more so.
No,
I don't think that's unethical. More so, the things I don't like are like, and this even AEW does. It's not just a WWE thing, but adding the injury time on, I think that's bullshit. I think that's fucking shady as fuck, and whoever signs a contract that says they can do that's an idiot. Like, they really need to collectively bargain and get it like pro sports. In the NFL, if you sign a dude to a 3-year deal and he breaks his leg in year 2, you don't get to make it a 4-year deal now all of a sudden. Like, you sign these guys to a time frame, you know there's a chance they could get hurt. Like, how are you fucking them, but they're not allowed to fuck you back?
100%.
Yeah, same here. And so, like, yeah, I don't think WWE counter programming, like, if you're a big AEW fan, yeah, it's really shitty, like, because you want AEW to grow, right? Like, so yeah, it's gonna suck that they're doing that constantly. Because, like Draven said, they're going out, like, they're wanting to make sure that they blanket those nights, like they take the win. For professional wrestling, it's bad because lack of competition means it just gets really boring and stale. But my thing is more like in AEW, the AEW wrestlers do this a lot, where they take little pot shots at WWE, but then every once in a while you'll get WWE doing the same thing back, and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, as far as business stuff goes, yeah, you're in a business, do that. But as far as like the lowering yourself to making little jabs back at them, like it's just so useless to me.
Well, here's the reason why is that gets you views, likes, clicks, internet stories. So it's kind of smart to do if you're a talent because it gets people talking about you. So I would probably do it as a talent too, especially if I had nothing going on and kind of wanted to stir the pot and get my name into shit. I would just randomly, I'll say whatever, for a bit to try to. Or if you're trying to sell an event, hey, you see, Shawn Michaels made an AEW joke on NXT, whatever event it was, people are going to look it up. You know what I mean? Like,
so yeah, I mean, if nothing else, the professional wrestling business marketing side of things has definitely changed. Then, I mean, just in the world we live in now, like, and I think as far as like that side of it goes, WWE is dominating that, and I don't know how AEW fights against that to like rebrand themselves as something, to reimagine themselves a little bit and not just be a carbon copy.
Here's the point.
Cares to do that at all? I think Tony Khan is content to be a profitable wrestling company and just have fun. Like, I get that most of us drive as workers, or we want to be number one, we want to make the most money, all that. But I think that's not his personality. I think he just wants a wrestling company that makes money and he gets to have fun at it.
So Draven kind of answered this question that I was going to ask is, can Tony Khan presenting wrestling be any bigger than he is?
Does your cat make too much noise? Did you invent kit mittens to get it under control? Well, this would be the best place to advertise. The Gang Breaks Kayfabe podcast is actively looking for new sponsors. If you're interested, shoot us an email at thegangbreakskayfabe@gmail.com. Reach a wider audience. Support a bunch of idiots.
And Drake's kind of saying probably not, but he doesn't care.
I think AEW is bigger than it is. I don't think Tony Khan has the drive to do the things necessary to grow it. because I think he's content. I think he's the one fine not growing as long as they're making money. He doesn't have to be number one, so he doesn't care.
Well, also, like just this with the new whatever's going to happen with ESPN, we know that there is at least maybe a bidding war or at least a want for other companies to be purchasing WWE content. So we have Netflix offering them X amount of money. We have the Saudis offering them X amount of money. ESPN offering X amount of money. Meanwhile, we have Warner Brothers Discovery saying, we don't know if AEW should be part of our sports lineup, or we're going to put you on. Yeah, I guess your pay-per-views are now going to be on Prime instead of just making it part of Amazon or making it part of HBO Max Go on the move, whatever it's called this week, which they could have done to counter program, but it just there isn't the demand with where they have their TV right now as compared to what WWE is doing.
Which is crazy.
Like they literally have like NBC with the Saturday Night Main Events. They have CW for NXT. And then they're, like I said, Netflix and the ESPN app that's coming out. Like all these things they're paying billions of dollars to TKO for that.
Don't forget they got Tubi.
And we got Evolve on Tubi.
The math on it's a little different though, because
and I just think that's the issue with
owns a percentage of AEW. So it's not really like all these bidders coming at them, because one of their minority owners is a streaming company and a TV company. It's closer to WCW than anything like WWE.
I feel like that makes it worse though, because if I own a percentage of you, then I'm going to do everything I can to push you out there so that I can make more money off of you. If just by putting you on things that I already own and making you more relevant, then that's going to put more eyes on you, put more money in everything, in the live shows, in the merch, in everything. So maybe it's not Tony Khan that's the issue, and it's once again Warner Brothers, Wacko, and Dodd.
So with the counter programming and all of that, when does that meet Tony Khan's apparent apathy with just kind of being a fun wrestling product? When do those crossroads? When do they meet at the crossroads to where that now there's on a TV deal or a network for him, so we get like another TNA Ring of Honor situation where you're like, where the hell do I watch this show? Like, it's changing week to week. It was on Twitch last week. This week it's on. You got to catch it on Arby's.com. Like, so when does it become like Tony Khan can't just kind of be like, well, I'm okay with just having like a fun wrestling promotion?
Well, I think that's to the point of what we were just talking about. If Warner really does own a percentage, then there's never really going to be a TV contract negotiation. As long as Warner keeps giving them enough to be profitable, they're just going to stay on Warner because they own a piece.
The day that Shad Khan buys a TV station, that's when it changes. Like
I get the AEW channel,
right? Like, okay, so we're gonna do nothing but Jags football, this soccer team, and AEW around the clock. That's it.
That's probably going to happen before too long.
Well, and all right. So, how many of you have watched? So, if the new show is the latest of the reality programming for wrestling, have any of you watched the maybe not Total Divas, but Ms. and Mrs. or whatever, the Bianca and Montez? Because even watching this show, I was like, maybe I need to watch it because the two of them are personable, at least, and seem to be something I could watch if it's funny.
Well, I think that's going to be the next branch of all this, too. I think we're going to get a lot more.
Well, like AEW tried
character-driven shows
with Cody and Brandy, and it just didn't get any viewers. Like, no one was interested. And I know that was when Cody was on his way out.
It got picked
but
up for a second season.
it
It's just
just
he left, and they weren't going to put a WWE guy on a Warner station when they own a part of AEW.
right. We watched every episode of Ms. and Mrs. in my household. And if nothing else, it made me appreciate Miz more for all the worker he is and what he puts in and what he was doing with his family. Now, granted, I get that everything was completely scripted and there's no way any of these one episode, none of this wacky shenanigans just happened in a normal person's life. I get all that. But I still enjoyed that show. I still didn't do the Total Divas or whatever the Bella show. Is that the one that Cena and Daniel Bryan were on too, with the Bella show? I didn't watch any of that kind of stuff, but the ones that came on right after Raw, I wouldn't change the channel necessarily.
I think we're ready.
I would watch a Brandy Rhodes show again with Cody.
Well, I think we're going to get a lot more of those. And, like, I mean, you see Cody's got a podcast now. They do the Raw, the day after Raw, they have a podcast. Like, Taker has a podcast. So I think we're going to see a lot more of, like, individual products for people, too. Like, WWE is just growing into this, like, giant BlackRock corporation thing where it's just ruling over the land with, like, every corner of your daily life there's a WWE representation there. So I just feel like WWE is growing into this giant, like a bigger monster and a bigger giant they've ever been, really, at this point.
Yeah.
And although AEW isn't growing right this second, as we talked about with the TV and everything, but even with SiriusXM, what was 2 hours of Busted Open, I think it was originally 3 days a week, then went to 5 days a week, and now they've completely changed Fight Nation or whatever the channel was to Pro Wrestling Nation, and it's 24 hours a day now of wrestling coverage. They have the morning show. They do Sam Roberts in the afternoon. Then it goes to Coach's show. And then in the evenings, they do after shows for Raw, NXT, TNA, AEW. For pretty much every show now has an After Dark review show going on, too, with callers and different people. So wrestling is definitely available more than just on Mondays from 8 to 10.
So, last question for the episode. If you take when we were all, well, most of us were under 18. Jason might have been 36 at this point. But so let's say the Monday Night Wars, the Attitude Era, you know, all that. When for us, wrestling was, as far as like at the time, our social circles and like what we saw, like wrestling was at its fucking peak for us. Like, everybody had wrestling t-shirts. You would see wrestlers on late night shows, TV guide covers, magazines. You know, they would be making appearances on SNL. So, like, for us at that time, it was this huge boom. Right now, how much bigger is that boom, do you feel? Like, because back then we also had, like, TV. We didn't have streaming. We didn't have social media to, you know, sit and scroll through. So we had a TV and we had the couple nights a week we could watch wrestling, but it was still huge. Now, though, with it being like I can go on my phone and just spend all day watching wrestling stuff and then watch wrestling on TV or one of the 57 streaming networks. I can go into X and Threads and be in these communities where everybody's talking about wrestling. Like, do you feel like this is even like the biggest boom period of wrestling? Or
no.
Here's
why. It's because everything's like that now. Not everything is bigger, but like if people who love bird watching is bigger than ever before then, and people who like to use pogo sticks is bigger than ever before because there's video content 24 hours a day. They can talk about pogo sticks. So I just think that's just the way society is now. So that's the way wrestling is now. I don't think wrestling is that different. Wrestling is just in the world that it exists in, basically.
I think
that it definitely
they have gotten better at making more money off of a smaller amount of people. So, like, clearly they're making way more money than they ever have. So I understand the question of, is it as big of a boom period? Much less people actually watch wrestling now than did then. They just are able to monetize it way, way better. So all their numbers are up through the roof with records on everything. But I don't think it's in the mainstream consciousness even 10% as it was during the Attitude Era or the Hogan era.
Well, Draven, what do you consider watches wrestling? I know that's a weird thing to ask someone.
So yeah, how do we measure how people watch things now?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Because I think more people than ever in my lifetime will show me wrestling clips because they know I'm a wrestler and they aren't involved in it whatsoever and don't watch it and see a generic ass clip of just, you see this guy hit this other guy with his arm and he fell down? I'm like, yeah, it happens every match. But people who never watch wrestling now have watched some wrestling.
So my rebuttal to that is the main event with Hogan versus Andre had 33 million viewers. There's nothing coming close to that. I don't care how many people watch clips on their phone and shit.
What was it competing with?
And how many people saw the John Cena heel turn? I think more than that.
No, more than 33 million? You mean watching it live or after the fact on highlights?
No, that within the day even. Because Sports Center put out it on Twitter and people watched it, and it had millions on there. Had millions on Instagram.
So watching something on social media, you can't use that as a metric because they didn't have that back then.
Right, but I'm saying eyes that watched this event happen.
So clarify your statement. Eyes that saw at least 30 seconds of what happened?
Okay.
So for me, you have to qualify it also into what life is now. So, at the time, yes, you could get 33 million people to stop and watch one thing. The only thing that does that now is the Super Bowl or big NFL games. So now the way we consume media, we have more than a few options. We have every fucking option we could want. And then we complain because there's one movie that's not streaming right now and I have to figure out a way to watch it. So, we have so much in our hands. I don't, I guess my contextualizing wrestling and keeping it in the current state of what the world is, I feel like the boom period is as big as it's ever been because it's everywhere.
How about this? Is it a matter of, so it's available to more people now, but the question is, did those people want to see it to begin with? So someone was scrolling through Facebook Reels and the 10th reel down was Cena turning heel and they send it to you. Is that the same as during the Monday Night Wars when we're switching back and forth, when we're setting our VCRs up so that we can make sure we don't miss 1 second? We're staying up on the weekends to watch that ECW half infomercial, kind of commercial, kind of wrestling show with two things because we actually want to see it as compared to, oh, it's on the screen, so it's there.
Here's my question. Here's my answer to that. That only matters in your mind, really. And what matters is that people saw that Prime logo in that clip. And the more eyes that see it, the more money is made. That's what matters in the whole scheme of things. So, no, it's not the same, but it doesn't matter that it's not the same.
So
if by boom we mean economic, then yes. If we mean by boom passionate people who actually want to view it and are watching it, then no, Omega's right.
I agree. There's the answer.
But there's a lot of passionate people that do watch it and talk about it 24/7 on social media.
Leave me alone.
Here, let's put it like this.
To me, it's the boom period of awareness.
This is a pretty fair way to think about it because social media wasn't around back then. TV's different now. Let's take this metric. How many people do you see out in public in a random day wearing a wrestling t-shirt? Because I see almost nobody ever.
None.
Okay, here's the counterpoint to that. When
There's
we were
more
seeing
t-shirts
those,
out there now,
we were
buddy.
in, no. We were in school with kids. Now I associate with middle-aged people who don't tend to watch wrestling in general as much as kids do.
Now we all
Yeah,
feel
Hang out with
triggered.
the kids.
Wait. Now, here's the thing. I work with children in adoption and foster homes and all that kind of stuff. All of them have wrestling shirts on all the time. I see kids with wrestling shirts at like probably 20%.
Also, me and Tim live in Parkersburg, where there's a lot of addicts walking around who are still wearing NWO shirts and Wolfpack shirts and like old Stone Cold shirts. So we still see a lot of wrestling shirts.
Most of those shirts are
Just not
still
new
available, so it's not necessarily. I know I'm breaking my point here.
They've been worn, Grady.
Hey, I saw a 12-year-old the other day wearing a Jey Uso Yeet shirt.
So your daughter doesn't.
Well, I feel
count.
like there's more because now there's also celebrity. Now there's also a ton of celebrity fans of wrestling who talk about wrestling and generate wrestling content. Like O'Shea Jackson has his own wrestling podcast.
Vance Desmond has his own podcast.
Has his own podcast. Huh.
So yeah, I just feel like now it's like it's a part of the culture more than ever. It's a boom for the culture, I guess. Like
I don't like you saying culture twice in a row.
I'm sorry, it's the best way I can describe it.
We determined last episode, during the Hogan episode, I'm the only one that's allowed to use the culture.
Jason, it's what my people do. We take all of the amazing things that are created that perfectly describe things, and we steal them and use them.
Draven, cut all this out.
And
he left.
We completely make the word woke devoid of any meaning or context or history. We ruin all of it.
Huh.
Where's Ravens? I want to tell him that Tim was right.
What? About what?
I expected him to come running in and knock the chair over.
The
next episode,
numbers.
Next episode, we all wear our most random wrestling shirt then?
Yeah, that John Cena heel turn is like the most watched thing in the history of professional wrestling.
So within 36 hours, WWE's official social media platforms had garnered over 215 million views.
Yeah.
And then it also achieved record-breaking numbers on YouTube, with one video reaching 1.1 million views in 6 hours.
Here's the thing. The video of Omos and Microman apparently got 1.6 or 1.2 million views in 24 hours. People are just confused about what to watch these days.
Let me say this. When WWE posted on their YouTube, they were posting all of the recaps of each match from that show. The only one I opened and watched was that one, because I saw Microman and I was like, what is who and why is he looking at Omos? So I watched that one because I was like, I have to see this.
I've seen Microman's work, so here you go. I watched AAA more than I ever have in my entire life since like 1998. So, and that's entirely pretty much social media. So saying those views don't count, I think is ludicrous.
Damn shame the guy that disagrees with you. Well, you know what we did? You know what happened last week when Tim left first and then the rest of us just sat here? The three of us, we're out of here. Thanks for watching. This has been the Gang Breaks Kayfabe. We broke the kayfabe on Unreal, but we didn't. So next part 2, is the Gang Breaks Kayfabe WWE Unreal. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Bye. Go buy t-shirts.